boy with his rucksack. I immediately got my rucksack to go and leave there because it was clear that somebody was going to come in and occupy this compartment.
Para irme porque por supuesto alguien iba a entrar a ocupar el compartimento.
And a man came in, a tall man, all dressed in black.
Entró un hombre muy alto, todo vestido negro.
The only thing that was not black was white gloves.
Lo único que no era negro eran sus guantes
He had this
blancos.
black belt and a black pistol and a black dagger.
Pistola negra, cuchillo negro,
those
cinturón negro,
high hats.
sombreros altos,
It's
sombrero
not a
alto.
sombrero, it's
Gorra,
and he had a monocle in his eye.
monóculo.
He was a Prussian.
Prusia,
And he was a very high officer, an SS officer,
un oficial alto de la SS.
with the swastika, the Hakenkreuz on his
La suástica en el
arm.
brazo.
And I immediately tried to scoot out, get out as fast as I could.
Traté de salir volando.
And he looked at me and he said, "Sit down."
Me miró y dijo, "Sentate."
Yes, sir, sit down.
Sí, señor.
And then the door closed and his soldier stayed outside.
Se cerró la puerta y el soldado quedó afuera.
And he closed the curtain.
Y cerró las cortinas.
And then he made himself comfortable. He took off his belt and he took off his thing, and he took off his hat and he took off his gloves and he took off his pistol.
Se
and all
puso
that
cómodo,
business.
se sacó el monóculo, la gorra, el cinturón.
And then he said, "What is your name?"
¿Cómo te llamas? Me
I gave him
preguntó.
my name. He said, "Where are you from?"
¿De dónde venís?
And so a whole bunch of questions like that.
Un montón de preguntas así.
And he said, "Where are you going?"
¿A dónde vas?
And I said, "I'm going to Posen." I told him I was going to a border city on this side of Germany. I didn't want to say I'm going to Poland.
No le quise decir que iba a Polonia, le di el nombre de una ciudad un poco antes de la frontera.
And he said, "Where's your uniform?"
¿Y tu uniforme dónde está?
Because you're supposed to, even in that young age, it's not yet Hitler Youth, but they had some pre...
A esa edad, aunque no era todavía la juventud de Hitler, tenían algo parecido a mi uniforme.
I don't have a uniform, sir.
No tengo, señor.
You're Jewish?
¿Sos judío?
I didn't answer.
No contesté. No dije nada.
He said, "Do you know anything about Moses?"
¿Sabes algo de Moisés?
I said, "A little bit."
Un poquito.
I was scared. I was frightened. Huh?
Tenía mucho miedo.
But I was also intrigued. I was also interested.
Pero estaba intrigado, interesado.
Because this was a rare experience.
Una experiencia rara.
And that man turned out to be one of the sweetest men. He told me stories for more than an hour. He told me Bible stories.
Ese hombre me contó historias de la Biblia. Era un hombre
One
muy
story
dulce.
after the other.
Una historia tras otra.
I remember he told me the story of Joseph, and he told the story of Daniel, and then he told of Moses. He told all those stories.
Contó de José, de Daniel, de Moisés, todas esas
He
historias.
must have been a teacher at
Le
one
ha
time.
sido
Because he
maestro
spoke very fluently.
alguna vez porque hablaba con mucha fluidez.
And then at one point he said, "This country is going mad."
Este país
He
está
says, "This country is going mad."
volviéndose loco, dijo.
He says, "You must get out of this country."
Debes irte de este país.
I said, I tell you, I am going out of this country.
Dijo, yo me estoy yendo de este país.
He says, "Not like that. Don't go that way. Go the other way."
No te vayas para allá, andate
Not
para el
what's
otro
going on.
lado.
You
No
tell
para
your family when you get home.
decirle a tu
You
familia
tell
cuando
your
llegues a
family
casa.
to drop everything. Don't
Dejen-
worry about anything. Just
dejen caer
leave as
todo.
fast as they can.
Váyanse tan pronto puedan.
I must tell you that we tried to come to America.
Tratamos de venir a América.
And we went to Stuttgart, where one of the cities there, where there is an American consul.
Fuimos a Stuttgart donde hay un cónsul americano.
And one of the things they do is they examine everyone. They do a health examination.
Ya revisan a todos para ver cómo están Estados
And my
Unidos.
father has a little crooked back. He has a slight curvature of the back and also a little hunchback.
Mi padre tiene un poquito una joroba en la espalda.
He was a tailor.
Era un
And he
sastre.
would always sit close to the light and stitch like
Y
that.
siempre sentado cerca de la luz, cosiendo.
And the application was stamped, rejected, medically unfit.
Y lo rechazaron inapto por salud.
And the doctor said, "You will become a ward of the state. When you come to America, you will not be able to work, and then you will die, and then the country cannot take care of your family."
Y el hombre dijo
Rejected.
que iba a ser un peso para la sociedad de Estados Unidos.
So that was what was facing us at that time. Huh?
Eso es lo que enfrentábamos ahí.
So when this about an hour, 2 hours later, the train came into a station.
2 horas más
The train
tarde,
whistled.
el tren llegó a una estación, silbó,
And again there was this shout from outside, Achtung!
y otra vez esos gritos de afuera, Aston.
And this man put on all his paraphernalia,
Se puso
put all
todo
his
su-
business on.
todos sus asuntos,
And then the door flew open.
voló la puerta, se abrió,
Heil Hitler, Heil Hitler. Jay. That's all it is. Jay Hanuman. And then he got ready to go.
y él se preparó para irse.
And he turned around towards me and he said, little boy, I like you very much.
Me dijo, chiquito, me gustas mucho,
You do as I say.
hacé lo que te digo,
You tell as soon as you can, go.
decirles lo más pronto posible, vayan.
And the last thing I saw of this man was I saw on his lapels.
Sobre su
On his-
cuello,
huh?
sobre su...
And what it said on his lapel was SS.
Decía SS.
SS. SS. SS. And then when I got home a few months later, I went to Poland, of course, and then got home a few months
Cuento,
later.
fui a Polonia después unos meses
The
más
day
tarde.
I came home, that same day,
El día que llegué a casa, el mismo día,
in the post came a big envelope, a
en el
big cover,
correo llegó un sobre grande,
and without any explanation, visas for America.
sin explicación, visas para América.
And we left the week after that.
Y nos fuimos una semana
10 days
después.
later, we left.
10 días después.
I'm one of the last trains out.
Y uno de los últimos trenes para afuera.
So, Sathya Sai, SS.
Historias que van con los símbolos, no se dejen atrapar.
Sorry. And there will be these pujas.
Están estas pullas.
And anyone who doesn't do that puja is an outsider.
Y el que no las cumple es de afuera.
And you feel as foreign in that setting as I felt being pushed into that Purna Chandra and seeing
Y
swastikas.
se sienten tan extranjeros como yo en esa Purna Chandra viendo suásticas.
But it's not foreign at all. It's the same symbols.
Pero no es extraño, es el mismo símbolo.
The whole point is don't get caught up in the superficial.
No se dejen enganchar por lo superficial.
All kinds of things here are superficial.
Todo aquí es superficial.
Even stories we hear of Swami are superficial.
Hasta las historias que oímos de Swami son
Swami says,
superficiales.
come and examine, dig deep.
Swami dice, vengan y examinen, caben hondo.
Little 10 foot or 10 meter diggings into the earth will not give you water. You can do 100 of those and will not give you sweet water.
Cavar 10 metros en la tierra no les va a dar agua dulce.
Go deep.
Vayan bien hondo
And when you go deep, you discover not who Swami is.
y descubrirán no quién es Swami,
And you don't discover even the thing that, these threads that connect all these religions together.
ni descubrirán esas cosas que unen a las religiones.
Who we discover is ourselves.
Lo que descubrimos es a nosotros mismos.
You discover the one self, the unity that is all.
El
That's all
uno,
there is.
la unidad, que es todo lo que hay.
And unless you're on that quest, on that path, you are nowhere.
Y a no ser que estén en ese camino, en esa búsqueda, no están en ninguna parte.
So the whole point is not to get caught up and not to get stuck. Not to get stuck even in these pujas, in these worships of various kinds. Don't get stuck in just singing these Sanskrit bhajans.
El asunto no es quedarse pegado ni con las pullas, ni siquiera con los bhajans.
They are very important steps. Don't get stuck in just worshipping these pictures.
Son importantes, pero no se queden pegados hasta adorando estas imágenes.
These are important steps, but they need to elevate our consciousness
Son pasos importantes, pero necesitamos elevar nuestra conciencia
until we recognize that there is only one consciousness.
hasta reconocer que hay solo una conciencia.
And that is our consciousness. That is the I. That is the true I.
Esa es nuestra conciencia.
Every time we say I, it is only one I.
Ese
There's
es el
only that one.
verdadero yo. Cada vez que decimos yo, es ese, el único.
Okay. Saga. Let's do the Asatoma. Asatoma.